bull breeds are the last of the terriers we shall consider. For centuries, combats were popular as sport or recreation. So man was pitted against dog, and dog against various large animals like bear, even with those poor beasts disadvantaged by, for example, tethering. Bull baiting was the recreation of the sadistic, pleasure-seeking public, where dogs were expected to pin the bull to the ground by his nose and not lose their grip while the bull was being slaughtered. Because of the poor bull's exertion when baited in this way, its flesh was considered more succulent. So dog fighting in various forms reflected attitudes of those times. Large sums of money were wagered on these fights. In an organised dog fight, each dog was held in a corner of the pit and released simultaneously. One of the rules was that each dog had to come up to a line scratched across the floor of the pit. If a dog stopped or otherwise refused to come up to this scratch line and begin fighting, that dog was deemed the loser. Alternatively, if the dog was clearly losing the fight, the owner could throw its towel into the centre of the ring, stopping the fight. Of course, the dog on top of the other usually won the fight. The words coming up to scratch, throwing in the towel, and top dog are still very much part of the English language today. Such is the extent to which dog fighting was entrenched in the English way of life. Dog fighting was prohibited by law in England in 1835, after which 5 different breeds of bull terriers developed. We shall consider each breed separately. The bull terrier was the first to emerge and appeared in the first English stud book. Let's now watch the modern bull terrier evolve over a century and a half. The bull terrier's background was somewhat mingled with the Old English white terrier we have already considered. Originally his ears were cut or cropped, making them stand erect. When this practice was banned in Britain, natural pricked ears were selectively bred. As the bull terrier developed as a pure breed, he became more valuable as a show dog than a fighting dog. Show dogs were not fought because of fear of disfigurement. So the modern bull terrier was developed purely for aesthetic appeal and is popularly known as the gladiator of the canine race. As an enthusiast's pet, those dogs with a people-loving temperament were also selectively bred. As his muzzle became longer and stronger, his stop gradually disappeared. This was further exaggerated into the down-faced egg-shaped head which typifies today's bull terrier. The bull terrier is a strongly built, active, muscular dog. Although there are neither weight nor height limits, he should give the impression of maximum substance for the size of the dog. Irrespective of size, the dog should look masculine and the bitches feminine. The eyes are well sunken, triangular in shape and obliquely placed. The ears are held stiffly erect and the cartilage is thin. The shoulders should never be loaded. He moves with a typical jaunty air, smoothly covering the ground with free, easy strides. The forelegs should reach out well and the hind legs should flex at the stifle and hop with great thrust. He comes in white with markings confined to the head or coloured where the colour must predominate and brindle is preferred. A century and a half ago, when Bull Terriers were first classified, there were two varieties separated by weight. So the miniature Bull Terrier was a lighter version of the Bull Terrier. This caused the Bull Terrier to be miniaturised to such an extent it was called the Toy Bull Terrier. A century ago, these were popular as tiny, amusing pets that could perform tricks as well as kill the odd rodent. For many decades, this miniaturised Bull Terrier was so small it no longer looked like a Bull Terrier because of its weight limitation. So, in 1978, the weight limitation was replaced by a height limitation. Together with crosses with the Bull Terrier, the miniature Bull Terrier has become just that. Today, the miniature Bull Terrier should be an exact replica of the Bull Terrier, except for its height, that must be less than 14 inches. So the impression of maximum substance for the size of the dog is maintained. The now extinct Blue Paul was once the national bull breed and fighting dog of Scotland. Because of one ferocious bitch, an Edinburgh court judgment in 1738 led to the indiscriminate extermination of all dogs of Mastiff kind. So the Blue Paul became extinct. 2 centuries ago, thousands of penniless immigrants, accompanied by their dogs, flooded America from England. Although dogfighting became illegal on both sides of the Atlantic, the athletic English dogs were responsible for a highly profitable barbaric industry. Born from an underworld of people and dogs, this is the American Pit Bull Terrier. Notice how much they vary. This is because they are not pure show dogs like their counterpart the American Staffordshire Terrier, and do not compete in all breed dog shows in Australia. Over 100 years ago, the United Kennel Club was formed in America to keep the pedigrees of pit bulls, and it still does to this day. All other terrier breeds we have considered have their pedigrees recorded in either the stud books of the English Kennel Club or by overseas dog registration bodies with which the Kennel Club has reciprocal arrangements. At the beginning of last century, the pit bull fitted so perfectly into the American way of life, his popularity soared. He was portrayed as the American mascot in World War I at a time when it was commonplace to boast a country's native breed. A popular movie called Little Rascals starred a pit bull called Pete the Pup. So children grew up owning a pit bull as the family pet and farm dog. Over the years, prominent people like Fred Astaire, Helen Keller, President Roosevelt, General George Patton and Michael J. Fox have owned him. Specialty dog shows and activities for American Pit Bull Terriers are enjoyed in many parts of the world today. Because the Pit Bull is such a canine athlete, enthusiasts love to participate in activities that demonstrate the Pit Bull's working ability. Historically, as the all-round American farm dog, they were possibly used to power farm machinery and treadmill devices like this. Today, the treadmill is a popular recreational activity. The winning dog turns the treadmill the most number of complete revolutions in a given time. In other words, it is the greatest distance that is covered in that set time. The tremendous athleticism of the Pit Bull, plus his courage and willingness to please, is extended to weight pulling competitions like this.
And that was a successful pull on 1250.
Judged on the ratio of the weight of the dog to the actual weight being pulled. Pit Bulls currently hold world records in several classes for weight pulling.
Good boy, good boy, come on, good boy, good boy, good boy.
The American Staffordshire Terrier was admitted for registration to the American Kennel Club in 1936. So the Amstaff, as he is affectionately known, became a pure show dog, rather than the performance dog that made the Pit Bull famous. However, the Amstaff should still give the impression of great strength for his size, yet maintain the graceful appearance required for the show ring. His head is deep through, with a broad skull, very pronounced cheek muscles, and a distinct stop. The muzzle is of medium length, with both upper and lower jaws deep and strong. The eyes are round and the ears set high and held either rose or half-pricked. In some countries they are cropped or cut to make them stand erect. He has a strong, fairly short body with large boned forelegs set rather wide apart to allow for his big chest. His top line slopes slightly from withers to rump and from rump to his low-set tail. He moves with a springy gait without roll or pace. He comes in various colour combinations, except all white or black and tan, but always has a black nose, dark eyes and eyelids. He stands up to 19 inches tall with proportionate weight. In some countries, there are more Amstaffs entered in dog shows than any other terrier breed. Meanwhile, back in England, from the same origins as the other bull breeds we have considered, comes the Staffordshire Bull Terrier. He did not appear in the English stud book until 1935. Let's now watch him develop over this relatively short period into today's most popular terrier breed in both England and Australia. Over the last 7 decades or so, you can see how the Stafford, as he is affectionately known, is becoming more close coupled and relatively shorter on the leg. Although he has maintained his width of chest, his shoulders gradually lost that tacked-on appearance of his bulldog ancestry. His bone has increased, giving him a muscular, agile appearance with great strength for his size. Stafford's size is one of the most important factors distinguishing him from the Amstaff we have just considered. The Stafford is a much smaller dog than the Amstaff. He should be no more than 16 inches tall with proportionate weight of no more than 38 pounds. His length of muzzle has also decreased during the period he has developed as a show dog, distinguishing his head from that of the Amstaff. However, like the Amstaff, the most dramatic change is in the Stafford's temperament. Although his indomitable courage has been retained from his background, today's Stafford is totally reliable with both people and other dogs. This is well demonstrated by these Stafford dogs and bitches enjoying themselves by playing together in complete harmony with one another.
Ready.
Don't drown each other.
The Stafford's head should have a broad skull and be deep throughout. Very pronounced cheek muscles should be evident without making the whole head appear too coarse for the size of the dog. The head should be relatively short, with a distinct stop and the foreface shorter than the skull, rather than being of medium length like the muzzle of the Amstaff. The eyes are of medium size and sufficiently dark to be in harmony with the colour of the coat. As the eyes are also round in shape and have dark eye rims and set to look straight ahead, the expression of the Stafford is somewhat soft and has definite appeal. The ears should always be rose or half pricked. The tail is medium length and low set. You can easily see why a correctly carried tail can be likened to that of an old-fashioned pump handle. The Stafford moves with economy of effort, in a free, agile and powerful action with discernible drive from his well-muscled hindquarters. Unlike the Amstaff, a Stafford may be completely white. Apart from that, like the Amstaff, The Stafford comes in every colour and colour combinations except liver and black and tan. These Staffords are doing a sit-stay exercise and an obedience trial. This dog is being commanded from a distance. These dogs are standing still while being examined by the judge. The heeling exercise includes instructing the dog to stand and drop. The instruction may be given by voice, signal, or a combination of both given simultaneously. Basic obedience is the starting point for all dog training. It begins with teaching the dog to heel. When the handler stops, the dog automatically sits without further command. It is most important that every dog is taught to come when called. It is also handy if the dog is taught to drop when commanded from a distance. Retrieving is great fun and natural for most dogs. This exercise is extended to retrieving over a jump. This dog is being sent 25 metres from the handler to sit in a box. The dog must then hurdle the jump directed by the handler, in this case, firstly the bar jump, and secondly the solid hurdle. Another exercise is the directed retrieve, where 3 gloves are set out and the dog must retrieve only the glove directed by the handler. While heeling, this handler has dropped an article. The dog is required to locate the article by sight or scent and retrieve it to hand. Imagine how handy this would be if you dropped the car keys or your purse and a dog could be sent to find it. One of the most advanced obedience exercises is this one, scent discrimination. Here the handler is putting his scent on a metal bar that is placed among other objects. The dog must find that bar. This is difficult for the dog because metal does not hold scent well, plus dogs do not like carrying metal. This exercise is repeated with a piece of wood, and lastly with leather. Leather is also difficult because leather has its own smell. But this Stafford successfully finds all 3 articles carrying her handler's scent. This is Helen Den Hartog with her dual champion Stafford, Shay. Helen has trained Shay to track. Firstly, Shay must pick up the scent of the unknown person, who made a track through this park in Melbourne's Central District about half an hour prior to this video being shot. She should also find some articles along the way belonging to the unknown person. Shay can track a distance of 1,200 metres or 3/4 of a mile, including turns and bends. As the Stafford was not bred as a scenting dog, this exercise certainly illustrates just how keen these dogs are to learn anything that will please their owners. This adaptability to modern society is the reason why the Stafford, and his counterpart the Amstaff, enjoys such tremendous popularity in so many countries today. At the end of the track, Shay finds me. A game with the ball that she passionately loves is her reward. Having travelled through 2 centuries, we have seen 40 different breeds of terriers evolve because of their courage and unquestionable willingness to please, even when carrying out obsolete tasks. We have watched their looks being perfected to suit every taste and been fascinated by their ability to perform a wide range of activities. So let's hope modern society's pressures and attitudes do not force any of these purebred terriers into extinction.